What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Black Desert. So today we are going to be doing a small guide video on how to get the perfect horse. We're talking about the tier 9 and I guess 10 level. So anyway, if you want to watch my videos on how to get a courser at tier 8, I have another video. But this one is more advanced, and for everyone who is looking at it and like, oh, okay, so how do I get a horse with perfect skills? The quick answer is you need some items, and I'll show you how to do it. But you need like mount skill things, which they actually kind of give a lot out just by playing the game and through events. But before we start with anything, I always want to say that if you are looking into a tier 9, you're at that point in the game where you're just trying to upgrade your horse. I would highly recommend just buying it off the market, because trust me when I say, if you're looking for a dream horse, trying to make one yourself, generally you'll either break even in terms of silver spent with all the materials, or you're gonna just lose money. So I know 12 million or 12 billion gold or silver might be a lot, but realistically, the less RNG you have in this game, the better. So if you're looking for a dream horse, just buy the one you can. I do actually see unicorns and doom horses sitting. Every now and then I'll see a Pegasus, so that one's a little bit more rare. I don't really know why. I think it's just because Pegasus is just, in my opinion, the best of the 3 horses. They're all situational, but I think just for general use, I think the Pegasus is the most valuable one. Someone's just selling 10 black stars on the market, and I don't have enough silver. Feels bad. Wait, hold up. Yo, wait. It's 2 awakening ones. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so my opinion, just buy the one you want on the market. Also, because what we're going to show you in this video is how I level mine up. Now, I may not be doing it the fastest way, but it is the most, like, reliable way, and this is for people who just like AFK for like an hour or 2 at a time. So this is my tier 10. We're gonna dump him in the bank. I have 2 unicorns right now, and the goal is to get the actually, if you watched the video, we got the 2nd unicorn recently, so I'm gonna bring out to level 1. I'm gonna show you how we do it, and for the most part, there is a chance that you will need to spend a little bit of silver or try to get some extra stuff as well, like horse gear always helps, which you buy off the market. It obviously makes your horse go faster. We're not going to do it for the demonstration of this video, but for you, if you're looking at how to get better horses, wait, hold on, where is it? Mount. So yeah, these things right here under mount, which is all these horse pieces. I think the ones you really want are, well, obviously the Crocodilo, all of them, those are the best in slots right now. But I think the best thing you would want, if you can only pick like certain pieces, and the ones you could buy, is anything with turn and speed, because that is generally good. So if you look at all of these, acceleration is when you're actively moving, but it's not when you're like AFK auto pathing. So yeah, just look at all of them and figure out which ones. Ideally, you just want to get all of them. But for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to show you what buffs I use and how like I auto path and what I do to do it. So, okay, so this horse is level 1. So these are the exact same stats you will get if you make your own. But once again, as I said, just buy it at level 30. There's no RNG. You could pick the stats you want, more or less. And I think overall, it's about even, whether you're making it yourself on average versus buying it. So no matter what, it just feels worse buying it, because 13 billion silver at one point is quite a lot, whereas some people just live for the RNG and try to make it yourself. I've personally made all my horses by myself because I'm dumb and that's what I do. I do it for content. But if it was not for a video, or honestly, you know what I do? I don't even click horse attempts unless they give these away, these event fruits for it's like they give it out for events. I don't really click horses unless they give it. Okay, so before we go, you're in Velia right now. We are going to start at Olvia. I think, actually, hold on. Yeah, let's start at Olvia. This is a level 1 horse as well, so we don't have all of the special abilities. So what buffs are we going to run? If you look at this right here under training, so like the higher your level, obviously the better. You get higher percentages for movement speed, selling it, which you probably shouldn't be selling your dream horse unless you really need the silver. And when it levels up, you get a higher chance to gain a skill. Okay, so what does mastery do? The higher your mastery, the higher the mount XP you get. And I guess the other two are catching horses and breeding exchange, but we don't care about that. We want to get to 30 as fast as possible, or 30 is the highest for skills you can get. The highest horse level is 100. So we just want mount XP. So equip your life skill gear. What else do we have? Training clothes. I think I have that. It's that Private Wonder ability. What a fun game this is. Okay, demonstration purposes. Did I even take it out of the bank? Okay, so let's say you have a Prime Monos. It's less than 1 billion silver. If you don't have a Monos, I think there is an NPC in the main towns that sell like the equivalent of a silver embroidered. And what is it? Let me find it real quick. I don't know, just put training, trainer. Yeah, so these things right here. So basically what you want is either mastery or mount XP. Either one is fine. It's easier. Like, I know it's more expensive, but it's actually easier to get a Monos clothes. So we're gonna equip that for now. And the buffs you use right now, there's an event going on, the Termian Park, the summer one, right? So you would want to up your life skill mastery. We'll just use this because I don't think I'm going to use all of them before the event ends or when they expire. Then there's another one, event one, that gives mount XP. We use that one. You could get a tent buff as well, but for the sake of demonstration, I don't really care. This horse is just going to 30. I don't care about the skills. But other things you could use, they give a lot of mount XPs, so we'll just use that. And this is the 10-hour one, which our video is not going to be 10 hours, and this is the big one for 6 hours. I'd recommend using this one only if you're going AFK, and of course these other life skill ones. So I want to make a mention real quick. There are two things, like these potions. There's mount XP and training XP, and then life skill XP. These are all different in a way, because mount XP is how much like you get when you're traveling. So as we go, we'll watch this go up. So this is the mount XP, and then training XP is your level. These are different. And then life XP, if you get baited into using a life XP thing right here, this only applies when your horse levels up. When your horse levels up, you get training XP, which also adds more to your training. So that's what life means. And so that's why I say be careful with this one. Mount XP and training are not the same. So training XP is this one. As you just like travel across the world with your horse, it'll get more XP over time. And when it levels, you get more training XP. So be careful with that one. So there are a few other things that you can get. I personally would not really recommend this unless you just have a lot of extra silver, or not silver, but just money in general. This Venasil dress set, basically it's like more stats on it. It makes your horse go faster and get more XP. So we're doing more or less the free-to-play route. And so what we're going to be doing once we get to Olvia, I'll show you the rotation and how do you actually autopath your horse. I know this might sound stupid, but how do you do loops and autopath and when you're AFK? So the reason why I wanted to make this video as well was because yesterday I made a video on the whole fairy continuous care skill. And nowadays you can actually go AFK for longer periods of time while using the continuous care and set it up with your life skills. Realistically though, you probably don't need to. You don't even need this for if you're horse leveling, because there's like 10-hour buffs, and then this one is 300 minutes, which is like 5 hours? 5 hours? Yeah. So as long as you're checking your game within 5 hours, I'm pretty sure you can manual pop your buffs and be fine. Okay, so we're in Velia. This is the spot that I use for like going AFK, and it doesn't really matter where you go. The reason why I chose this one is because when you see people in town going AFK and setting their horse to autopath, sometimes with the auto loop, it's kind of wonky. And sometimes when you do hard turns, you'll get stuck on rocks and whatnot. So that's kind of weird, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna go down to the Florin Gateway outside of here. And the reason why we're doing it specifically over here is because when you autopath it, it's gonna go down a hill, like more or less specifically around here. It doesn't matter like if you're starting in town or just like wherever. So what we're gonna be doing is going down to Port Feria, and I usually set it to around over here-ish. You could set it closer. And then what you want to do is set the auto loop path. So you set your auto path and you set loop. That means, and if you know you did it right, is because your auto path turned green. And ultimately I chose this route because there's not too many twists and turns around the world, and so that means your horse won't get stuck. Like, let's say if you do a weird auto path and your horse gets stuck on that fence, guess what? Suddenly you're not getting XP anymore. So on to the next thing we're going to talk about, leveling up and getting skills. So as you guys know, every level you get some XP and there's a chance to get a new skill. Now, in total, I believe there are 24 to 25 skills. I think 25 is with Doom, and 24 is Pegasus and Unicorn. So how do you get a perfect horse? Every time you level, this is where the pay to win, it's not really pay to win. Yeah, it kind of is, more or less. But it's one of those things where if you really want a perfect horse and it's for your personal use, then yeah, I would go for it. So every time you level, you would get rid of this Courser's Spirit skill, and it'll give you a random skill. The skill itself, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is get rid of the Courser's Spirit, because this skill at a weird chance has like every time you level, there's a really high chance you'll get it back next level. Whereas some other skills have really lower chances, which I hate so much. I really wish just getting skills were all equal chance, but no, Pearl Abyss wants to make some lower than the others and make it literally harder for other people because money. So that's one thing I hate. I wish getting all the skills for your horse was just easier in general, because leveling up your horse to 30 is kind of like a day activity if you're just auto-pathing it. So yeah, that's one complaint. Will they ever fix it? Probably not, but that's just one of my complaints, and a lot of other horse trainers too. They're just like, man, you spend quite a bit of money if you want to do it. So yeah, when you get Courser's Spirit, you trade it out for another skill, but you don't do it at level 2. So as I mentioned before, there are a total of 24 skills, right? And then there are 30 levels. So that means by calculating it, also this is the end of the loop, it just auto loops back. So at the you can calculate how many skills you need. So for example, I need 20 skills. I have 28 levels to do it. So that means I have 8 levels of buffer room to make sure I get all the skills. Now, that means you would generally start around like level 10 to 15 maybe, depending on your RNG. Currently, when I showed you my other unicorn at the beginning, it was level 27. I did that thing and it has all the skills and it's not even maxed out yet. If you want more XP, you obviously just put gear on. If you have extra money, you get horse armor as well, the cosmetic ones as well, so that just gives higher chances of learning skills and whatnot. I would highly recommend just not really worrying about that unless they give it away for an event. So yeah, as you guys, if you've watched my videos in the past year or so, I try to help people and make guides for people who are not whales and people who don't spend literal thousands of dollars on the game. So I'm trying to make sure you guys get everything you can efficiently. And so I really hope these guides help you. So as you can see, we went from like 1 to 2 just by, I don't know, in demonstration. We went 1 loop and back. So ideally, you would be doing this, and then once you set it to auto path, you kind of just go AFK and then come back like a few hours later, and then you'll be good. But the tricky part is when you get to a certain level, let's say 10 or something, depending on how many skills you have left, keep in mind at level 30, they no longer get any more skills past that. So you want to make sure you have most of your skills, or the relevant ones at least. So all the S abilities, like I don't even know why they're S, like special or super, whatever, something. The things you don't really care about too much is caution. That one is an optional one. Okay, so as you guys can see, I did a full rotation. This is how it goes. You see how like sometimes if you do a sketch route, it'll get stuck on that fence? Sometimes it could happen, but I might have just made a weird path. But generally, in the multiple dream horses I've made, my horses have never gotten stuck. If you find that you got stuck one time, just lower the little like ramp thingy to a little bit further down and you'll be good. Just like lower it down there, and then ultimately the end spot is still there. So yeah, so as we were talking about, I would say the important skills you want: drift, sprint, instant excel. Charge is kind of nice, but not really required. Sideways is good. I guess it's just better to say which ones are not as good. Caution, very optional. Roar, don't really... I don't even use it that much, to be honest. Charge is just a fun one to have. It's not really necessary. Hind kick is not really like... It's better on a Doom horse than any other horse. And 4 chop. So ultimately, you could get away with like 19 skills, but ideally, we're talking about you want the perfect horse. You want all the skills, even if you don't use it. I get it. So that's what we would do. So let's say we don't get a new skill at level 3. We're gonna get level 3. What you would do: take out Horse's Spirit, use the mount skill change coupon, which you should have a lot of, because this event, if you've been playing it, they kind of give you a lot of them for free, and if you haven't done the event, you should probably do it. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then there's obviously light stones and more buffs you can do, but I don't think I'm gonna be leaving it on for that long. So let's see, at level 3, do we get a new skill? We got a new skill. What is it? Instant excel. Nice. So this is a mistake that a lot of people make when they're first doing it. Like, as I mentioned, there are a lot of good skills that you probably want early. Now, the best way to not spend too much money, because I know the mount skill change coupon is like, it works the same way as fail stacks do when you're enhancing gear, and I hate it so much. I really just wish it wasn't in the game. So one thing you want to be careful of is don't worry about the skill as much. If you're trying to get it in the cheapest way possible, dump Courser Spirit, and then whatever skill it gives you, keep it, and then every time you get Courser Spirit, dump it again. And then you'll generally get this back every level, because that's just the weird rate that you get it back at. It's very high. So every horse I've done, which is every dream horse to this day, you'll just get it back, and then eventually, if you just keep cycling through it, you'll get all the skills. So in conclusion, how many of these are you realistically thinking of spending? I have 27 of them, which is for like the hardest emergency. And see, we're at level 3, we have 5 skills already. And I think at the very lowest level, you should be starting to even consider using the Courser Spirit trick. Probably like level 10 or 15, depending on your RNG. But just make sure to math out. You have 24 total skills, and then whatever level this is, up to 30. So if you think you can get all the skills before that, that's great. And if you're cutting it close, you might want to pay attention to the levels. So that's all the tips I can give you for this one. I know this was just a horse video of me literally auto looping from point A to B. I don't know how interesting it was, but I hope it was informative. So if all of you looking to get a dream horse in the future, good luck. Definitely use this tip if you want to get the perfect horse. And as for speed and like the numbers, before we do anything, I'm just gonna stop this auto loop once we get to town, and don't do that. And then you can just cancel it by the same way you would do it. So there's one more thing I want to mention before we head out, is percentages and breakpoints. So on break, you want to get it to the next whole number, 0.5, to get it to the next, or like solid whole number. I don't know why this is a thing, but there are like similar brackets like we have in gear, and then you have to have like a 0.5. Like, let's say you have 120, or let's say you have like a 130, but you have another horse with like a 131. That 131 puts it in a higher bracket than the 130, and you may think, oh, it's just 1%. It's not 1%. It's actually more than that, but the thing is hidden. This is the information from like the horse discords and all the other content creators, streamers, and other people who do training as their main life skill. So this is information that can be verified by a lot of people. So there are breakpoints and brackets for break, and I think turn and acceleration. I'm not too sure, but speed is not affected. I just know break is one of them. I don't really have too much information on that, but there are calculators out there on, let's say your horse, once your horse gets to level 30, without gear and all this stuff, you could put in the numbers of all your speed, acceleration, turn, and brake, and the calculator will tell you whether your horse got like high rolls and whatever stat. But the stats are mostly affected by your training level, and then yeah, so the higher your training, I think the higher the rolls for your horse can be. So it's a lot more than just making it yourself. As you guys have watched in the very beginning, and you're probably thinking, oh, I can make this horse for cheaper than buying it off the market. Yeah, you probably could. There's a chance. But is it really worth your time? Because getting your horse from like level 1 to 30 will probably take you all day if you're auto-pathing, and assuming you are full buffed as well with horse and training XP. So ultimately, it is always cheaper to buy it off the market. That's, if you learned anything from this video, is just buy the horse you want. There's no RNG. You can even look at the stats and buy the best one you can, whereas you are gambling if you're making it yourself. So yeah, with that said, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tomorrow with more videos. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, especially if you're new, join the Discord, and I'll try to make videos as much as I can on like topics that people have submitted and things you guys just want me to talk about, because I've been playing this game for quite a while, so I generally have a good idea of how a lot of weird features in this game work that you might not think actually works. So you can always ask me questions, leave it in the comments, join the Discord and all that good stuff, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow.